afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Power Up Your Passion. I am your host, Felicia Shankin. Can you believe it is November already? I can't believe this is my favorite time of the year. The change of the colors of the leaves and the 1 hour, that you go back with the clock and everything, even though I haven't caught up yet. But all the good stuff, the good smells in the house, Thanksgiving. So this is a fun month. But anyway, welcome. I hope you grabbed something hot to drink, your lunch. Today we have a great interview. I want to introduce you to my host, Felicia Phillips. Felicia Phillips is there's so much I can tell you about this lady. She is a international speaker. She is a business coach. She is a minister. She's an author. There's so many things, like I said, and Felicia has also come in front of my organization, the Philadelphia Women's Network Connection, and spoke to them on numerous times. So I am excited today to have her on the show to tell us a little bit about her. So Felicia, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as I ask everybody, hence Power Up Your Passion, the first question I would like to ask you is, what brought you, or I should say, what started you on this journey, or how did your journey start with the passion to where you are now? Let's start there.
Okay. I think as a minister that's a really easy question. You know about my strong faith in God.
Yes.
And so I've had that faith since I was a very little child.
Okay.
And because of that, I believe that even though I didn't know it at times, it wasn't until I was, maybe a late teen, 18 or 19, that I really recognized the hand of God on my life.
Okay.
But I can say from very early on that God has just been ordering my steps and directing my path and moving me and bringing everything together. I'll be interested in different things, dance and public speaking and poetry and the arts and all of those things, and not knowing at the time that God was bringing all of that together to get me to where I am today to do a lot of the things that I'm doing now.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you remember where your first speaking engagement was?
So, funny that you asked. My first speaking to be very honest, my first speaking engagement was probably in church. I did the Easter plays, For God So Loved the World that He Gave His Only Begotten Son. I did all of those things. But I think the first engagement where there was really the opportunity to say, you're really good at this, you're doing a really good job, was an assignment given by Frances Jones at Masterman School. We had to write an essay, and then after we wrote the essay, we had to deliver it as a speech. And she took my speech, massaged it. I turned it in late, mind you, so I wasn't even on time. But she massaged my speech and really thought that I had a winning speech, put me into the school district's African American oratorical contest.
Okay.
And I went to the city. I was, chosen out of, my school. I was chosen to represent my school out of a lot of schools in the city. And then we went down to, can't remember where we were competing at that time, but we competed. And I didn't place that year. I actually was sick. I didn't place that year, but I continued to do it year after year. And a couple of times I placed. I think I placed fourth one year and I placed second in the city. So that's when this really became something with the public speaking aspect.
Wow. Okay, so tell the audience, where are some of the places that you have spoken? You're an international speaker. I know some of the places you've been to, but I want you to tell my audience.
Absolutely. Well, this international speaking career has just been incredible, and it started in New Delhi, India at the Women's Economic Forum. I did that in 2017.
Okay.
Was scared, when I was invited, I'm like, what do you want me to say? I'm a minister. What do you want me to come to India and to share? But I did that. I took that leap of faith. I stepped out and, I prayed, and I really believed that God released me to go there. And so I spoke there, and that was the start of an amazing journey. Since then, I've spoken several times in the Bahamas.
Okay.
I've done, I think for 2 or 3 years, I've done the PM Global Empowerment Cruise with my coach, Pastor Monica Haskell.
Okay.
I have also, earlier this year, I returned to the Women Economic Forum, and I spoke in Amsterdam.
Yes.
I love Amsterdam. I want to go back, but I'm not
favorites.
speaking and just ride the canals. It's just beautiful.
Yes.
And to be very honest, tomorrow I am headed to London. And
Wow.
I'll be speaking at the Women Economic Forum in London.
Wow.
So the speaking has just taken me to places that I never dreamed of. It's been amazing, and I can't leave out Dubai.
Yes, you can't.
Dubai. I did Dubai in June. Dubai was so hot. It was amazing, though. The people, the culture, everything about it was amazing. The conference was amazing. It was in PowerFest Dubai.
Okay.
And it was just incredible. And then in June of 2020, I'm going back to London for EmpowerFest London. I'm actually a part of the organizing team for that event, so I'm really excited about that.
You should be. I mean, first of all, I have to applaud you for all the travel. I love travel. I mean, travel is one of my businesses. And London, you're going to love London. So make sure you do the fish and chips.
Okay.
And you got to do it with the malt liquor. And let me tell you, once you try the fish and chips there, you will never be the same when you come back to America. There will be nowhere here that you will be able to get the same food. But that's awesome. And Dubai definitely is on my list of places to go.
You have to do the desert tour in Dubai. That was amazing.
Was it?
You have to have the right stomach for it if you're not.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Crazy.
But I saw some of your pictures, and your pictures was amazing. I mean, she had on garments that looked like she was like the Queen of Sheba. And then didn't you do a camel ride too?
We did. My daughter was with me. We did a camel ride. We rode on the sand dunes. That part was the part where I was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? But I mean, we just had an amazing time. It was just hot. You have to have the right hair.
Oh, I'm
for
sure.
Dubai.
I'm sure. Well, you know what? Hair and black women, that's another show completely, so we won't even go there.
Absolutely.
But you look like you were doing well.
Thank you.
Now, did you get a chance to go to Abu Dhabi?
I did. We did. We went to the mosque in Abu Dhabi. I'm trying to remember now. I know that's probably when you saw me in the garb, because you had to be covered to go into the mosque. In fact, there was a woman taking pictures and her head wrap fell off for 2 seconds and they were all over it.
Oh my God.
She thought that she did something wrong with the camera, and they were like, no, you have to cover your head.
Right.
So we did that. We did some shopping in Abu Dhabi. I can't remember. I'm mixing up Dubai and Abu Dhabi, but we definitely hit both places.
Well, I can imagine. So you said when you leave from here, you're going to London. How long are you going to be in London?
I'm just going to be there for a couple of days. I'm really homesick right now. I've been gone for a while.
Yeah.
And with caregiving, you know, that's a new space, and so I don't need to be gone for this long. So the conference is the 8th, 9th, and 10th. I'm actually going to be speaking on the 8th, and I'll enjoy the conference on the 9th. I have some friends in London, so I'm going to connect with them.
Nice.
And then I am flying back on the 10th.
Well, just to let everybody know, Felicia used to live here, and well, actually, I keep saying here, I'm thinking we're in Philadelphia. I keep forgetting we're in Jersey. I'm sorry, Jersey. Much love for you. But Felicia used to live in Philadelphia, and you recently moved to Georgia.
Yes.
And what was the reason why you moved to Georgia?
The short story is there are a couple of things. My husband and his family, my husband's family is in Georgia, so his mother is a fairly new widow. He has 2 sisters. We have 2 sons and 3 grandchildren. So we have family in Georgia. All of my family is in Philadelphia. And basically, my husband had put in his time. We've been married for almost 20 years, so he did 20 years in Philadelphia and has been trying to get back to Georgia for so long. And so now was the time. We were caregiving for my parents, and it was an opportunity to move them out of where they were staying and just move into a nice, beautiful home in Braselton, Georgia. That's where I am now. So we're all in the same house, taking care of everything and starting our new life.
Wow.
Closer to that side of the family.
Wow. Now, Felicia's talking about, I know Felicia, so she's saying that her and her husband been married for 20 years. If you saw her husband and her, when did you get married, like 12? I can't believe they've been married for 20 years because you both look so young.
And
I'm
the funny
serious.
thing is, he's 11 years older than me, so I'm always like, people are always saying how young he looks. I'm like, okay, well, what do I look like? I'm starting to be offended.
Really? Okay, all right. I'm telling you, it's just amazing. That's because you're living a good life. When you live a good life, it not only on the inside, but it shows on the outside.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes here. Tell us a little bit about your company. Now, your company, you're the founder and the CEO of Through His Eyes, LLC. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Through His Eyes LLC is a speaking, coaching, and consulting firm that empowers men and women to walk in their destiny and manifest their dreams. The company was founded in late 2017, going into 2018, when I launched my very first book, Chasing God, Manifesting Your Dreams. And that book is really, you know, you've read it, and I hope you loved it. Is Felicia the minister and Felicia the empowerment speaker. So the book really takes a biblical approach to what it looks like to chase after God. What does that mean? And then it gives practical steps that the reader can take in order to manifest their dreams. And so the company Through His Eyes is significant because everything that I do is based on what I started with, that relationship with God. And so I, in 2017, going through some transitions at work and in my career, had to begin not looking at myself as I see myself right now, but I had to begin to listen to God, to hear from God, and to see myself through his eyes. And so that's where the name of the company came from. And basically what I want to do is help men and women to see themselves through God's eyes so that they can see the fullness of who they are, who they were created to be, and they can walk in their destiny and manifest their dreams.
Wow. Now, you were saying that your book, okay, the difference between ministry and then of like kind of like owning your business. Okay. What are some of the myths, or I should say, bust some of the myths, because I know I also come, with a church background, family that's deeply rooted in the church, growing up in the church. So when I was growing up at the time, it was a different era. They were saying that women that are in ministry, they couldn't have a business, they couldn't do this, they were there to support their husbands and different things like that. So talk about that a little bit. How do you feel about that?
Ooh, see, I didn't come from that era. So I don't know about that. That might be another show.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I came from a church where I saw women in leadership very early on.
Okay.
So I was fortunate enough not to be a part of a church where I felt that women were subjugated. I learned more about that actually as I got older, and even during my time at seminary. And then some different churches that I went to where I realized there were differences in how far a woman was able to go in ministry and things like that. But I, from a very early age, in fact, the church where I received my ministerial license, one of the ministers who was still there when I got my ministerial license, she was one of the first women that I saw in ministry.
Okay.
And so I saw her regularly serving and doing it, so it wasn't a big thing for me.
Right.
I'm absolutely an advocate for God using whomever he chooses to use, including women.
Right.
And so I also have a ministry, Phillips Ministries, which we didn't talk about, but that ministry really seeks to provide innovative platforms for sharing the gospel and also offer support to women in ministry. So through various opportunities throughout the year, I try to give women who are established pastors, deaconess, ministers, seminary students opportunities to use their gift, because oftentimes women, unfortunately, are still overlooked in much the same way that they are in corporate America for ministry opportunities.
Wow, that's amazing. So we're going to leave right here. We're getting ready to go to commercial, got to pay some bills, and we'll be back with the fabulous Felicia Phillips.
Say we've got grit, and we'll take it as a compliment. Because it's our uncommon drive, our spark within, that brings us together and sets us apart. We are temple made. And when others take shortcuts, when others take breaks, when others take the easy way, we take charge.
Add us on social media to watch bloopers, behind the scenes footage, previews, and more.
I work 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. So when I'm off the clock, I gotta get stuff done. So when I need a snack, I need something healthy, tasty, and easy to eat. Like wonderful pistachios without the shells. They're protein-powered, delicious, and great on the go. And that's perfect for me.
Thanks, Liz.
A woman without a lot of time.
Whether you're a gourmet cook or just want to eat like one, visit Rostelli Market Fresh, your home for the freshest, locally sourced ingredients to please everyone who loves great food. Our organic meats, quality seafood, and free-range poultry are cut fresh to order. Chefs create culinary-inspired prep foods made fresh every day, which pair nicely with our vast selection of fine wines and spirits. Choose from handmade pastas, artisan cheeses, organic produce, and grocery items, all from the finest purveyors. Rostelli Market Fresh, from our family to yours.
RVN.
Hey everybody, we're back from commercial. This is Power Up Your Passion. I am your host, Felicia Shankin. We are sitting here today talking to the wonderful Felicia Phillips. So before we went to commercial, we were talking a little bit about the ministry and passion and everything like that. Now you just were at a summit, weren't you?
I just left, I think you're talking about the Ignite Women's Conference?
Yes. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that is an amazing conference that's put on by Reverend Nikki Waller Brown. Every year I've been a part of it, and this year was super special because I was one of the speakers.
Nice.
And so I had the opportunity to pour into women and to talk about something that I'm absolutely passionate about, and that is health and wellness, self-care, particularly stress management, and how to prioritize self-care. Women wear a number of different hats. We are super women. We do everything. We're everything to everybody. And unfortunately, that's killing us because we're not taking the proper time to care for ourselves. And so those who know me know that I am a fitness enthusiast, and I have been going hard with my health and wellness for a couple of years, and really am now even taking a shift with Through His Eyes to be able to expand in that arena. I just became a certified nutritional coach.
Congratulations.
And so thank you so much. And so I really want to help women to prioritize self-care, to help women to understand the connection between their mindset. You know, we say that we want to eat better, or we want to lose weight, or we want to live a healthier lifestyle, but it starts with your mindset. You have to change your mind about your relationship with food, their spiritual growth. You know, when I'm picking up a donut because I'm stressed, what does that say about my relationship with God? Can the donut really help me, or do I need to really go to the foundation of my faith and figure out what's going on and allow God to pour His wisdom into me so that I can make the right decisions? And then of course nutrition and exercise. So I'm absolutely passionate about that, and I want people to be just as excited about health and wellness, about exercise, about eating right as I am, so that they can all live healthier lives.
Okay. Now, I want you to tell us why you decided to go along that path about the health and wellness. Now, I remember, I know your story, but they don't know your story. So tell us, let's go back a little bit and tell us why you started on that path of the health and wellness.
Sure. I think, well, professionally, I've always been in healthcare. For the majority of my career, I worked in healthcare communications, marketing, PR, et cetera, and I would write articles, brochures, produce TV shows on health and wellness. I'm writing about all these disease conditions. At the same time, I grew up kind of, you know, always thin until I had children. I had my first daughter and I lost that weight, and I had my second daughter, and that she's about to turn 16, and that lingered for a little while. So I have to be very, very honest that the first goal, or the first reason that I became interested in fitness was vanity, because I wanted to look better. I wanted to look nice. I wanted to wear a bikini again for the first time in years. I wanted to feel good about how I looked on the outside. So it was absolutely vanity.
At least she's honest. She's being honest.
Absolutely. But at the same time, in 2009, my mother was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And from there, a host of other conditions developed. And I know from my career in marketing and communications and in healthcare that so much related to diabetes in particularly is lifestyle. And you can actually change your condition. You can actually improve your condition and manage your blood glucose if you make lifestyle changes. In fact, since we moved to Georgia and my mother has been living with me, and I've been coaching her and helping her make healthier decisions, she's lost, in 5 weeks, she's lost 10.3 pounds. And for the first time in 10 years, she no longer has to take insulin. She was taking insulin twice a day in order to manage her blood sugar level. And I mean, just so that you have a sense of what this really looks like, her blood sugar level, about 4 years ago, I saw a Facebook post that I posted about her. She was admitted to the hospital with a blood sugar level of 1,153.
Oh my God.
1153.
Wow.
Today, her blood sugar average is about 113, and that's simply, and that's without insulin, so she's no longer on the insulin. That is simply because she started eating to live. She started managing what she was eating with my help. And I'm just excited. I never imagined that we would do that much. So I'm just so excited about her progress, and we haven't even really started to exercise a lot. She walks maybe a couple of times a week. So it also just helps me as a nutritional coach to really just drive home the idea that exercise is great, and you know, I encourage it. I work out 6 days a week and I love it.
Of course.
But your nutritional changes are most important. Change how you're eating, change your relationship with food, stop filling yourself up with things that are really killing us as a people,
Right.
us as women,
Right.
and make healthier food choices to fuel your body and allow you to live a healthier life.
That is so true. You know, coming from a medical background, and like I said, I've lived like 20 lifetimes already, but coming from a medical background of over 25 years, I started in radiology, went back to school for nursing. Felicia's right, especially when you are a diabetic. When you go on that needle, like 9 times out of 10, you're not coming off. So for your mom to come off the needle and lose weight and bring her diabetes from, she was at that point where she was at stroke. You're talking about diabetic
Absolutely.
coma. You're talking about losing limbs. You're talking about losing vision. So, I mean, she was in that danger zone.
Yes.
And for her to go from there to where she is now, that's a wonderful thing. I tell you, God is truly good because,
Absolutely.
and like you said, nutrition is so important. And we as women, we are so used to taking care of everyone else and just running.
Right.
And like you said, grabbing a donut. Like today, I grabbed a donut and I was like, I knew I didn't need it. You know, she said she did too, but I know I didn't need it. But I was like, you know what? I didn't eat. I didn't want my stomach growling while we're here having an interview or
Right.
anything. But yes, you have to be conscious, and your body will actually tell on you if you're
Absolutely.
not. So my next question to you is, so now you helped your mom. Okay, and your dad, you were saying your dad had some health problems too. Tell us a little bit about him.
Sure. So my dad has Parkinson's disease, and he is pretty, because I think he always ate a better diet anyway than my mother. So he was better with his diet and with portion sizes. That's something that really trips people up. They don't understand portion sizes. And so
Right.
they're eating so much more than they think that they're eating. My
Right.
dad was pretty good with that, and he was also really good with exercise. So I think that my discipline with exercise probably comes from him. He went to the gym faithfully 3 days a week. Because of that, his Parkinson's really hasn't progressed as far or as quickly as tons of people that I
Wonderful.
know that are living with the disease.
Right.
Now, what is of concern for me with my father is honestly that he's too thin.
Okay.
He is about 5'9", and he's only 122 pounds. So he's
Okay.
a little guy.
Okay.
And so, you know, I get concerned about falls and things like that. So
Right.
just making sure that our house is senior safe. And also, I'm trying to fatten him up. So I have to, on one hand, that's where the nutritional coaching certification came in. On the one hand, I have to prepare meals that will allow my mother to maintain the
Right.
weight loss and continue to lose weight
Right.
and to stay off the insulin.
Right.
But on the other hand, I have to pile on the carbs on my
him.
dad's plate and really do whatever I can just to make sure that he's sustainable, so that, you know, if he does fall sick beyond the Parkinson's, that there's a little bit of something to work with, because he's just so small and frail right now.
Yeah, it's balance. You have to have that balance. Didn't you just start a program for those two? You just started a YouTube program.
I did.
Listen to hear about this.
Yes. Hanging with the Elderlies. So, and I wasn't sure. I sort of tested the name Hanging with the Elderlies in one of my Facebook groups because I didn't want people to be offended by it. But internally, my family, my husband and my 2 daughters, we call them the Elderlies collectively. And so Hanging with the Elderlies is one of my newest projects. I'm really excited about it because I am also passionate about caregiving.
Right.
We were really thrust into the caregiving world, and I didn't know what I got myself into. I just moved to do what needed to be done because my parents needed to be in a healthier space, a cleaner space. My parents needed help with medication management. They needed help with doctor's appointments, food shopping. They just needed everything. And there was no choice. So people think caregiving is a choice. I didn't have a choice as a daughter. This is what I needed to do. And so what I'm looking to do with Hanging with the Elderlies is to present an authentic look at caregiving, but also provide people with resources, with information, and just a little fun behind the scenes. My mother is a character, and I would always post things about her on Facebook, and she developed a fan base. I said, you know, you have a fan base. We really should do something with this. And that sort of birthed into Hanging with the Elderly. So we are on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. On Facebook, I'm able to share articles, resources, and information. The videos are anything from conversations with my mom that you will just think are hilarious to some of our outings, exercising, dancing, singing. I really am trying to make it fun and engaging, but I want to make sure that people really see caregiving for what it is. And I also share some of the not so good things. So
Right.
it's a day that I'm feeling down, a day that I'm feeling overwhelmed, a day that I'm like, what the heck, I can't do this, God, what? I do videos so that people see that, because
Right.
depression is something that is also very, very prominent
Right.
in, prevalent, excuse me,
Yes.
prevalent in caregiving. And so people oftentimes see my highlight reel, they see me doing interviews, they see me smiling, they see me speaking internationally, but I have some very, very, very dark days. And so I want to use the platform that I have and the audience that I have to encourage, to inspire, and to let other caregivers know they're not the only ones that are going through that, and that help is available.
Yeah, you know what? That's awesome, because people can relate to authenticity. And I've seen some of your videos, and your mom's a hoot. I love her. She is so funny. Some of the questions and the answers is just amazing. So Felicia, my next question to you is, what is your superpower?
Oh, what is my superpower? I'll say that my superpower is a supernatural power, and it's called grace.
Oh, wonderful.
Grace.
Wonderful. I think that's the first time I've ever heard that answer. And it's the first time. I love it. I mean, it's so simple, so easy, and it's so you. It is so you. Okay, my next question. What would Felicia Phillips today say to Felicia Phillips, the younger version of her?
The younger version would say, do it now. There are so many things, and that's a part of what I said as far as the name of my company, Through His Eyes, seeing yourself through God's eyes. A couple of years ago, when I left my corporate job, I had an amazing job that was just going in a different direction, and so I needed to take a different direction. And it was during that time that I realized that I missed opportunities because I wasn't confident in who I was, and I wasn't confident in who God created me to be. And so I made a commitment. That was around about the time that I wrote my book, that I was going to stop looking at myself the way that I see myself and begin to see myself through His eyes. In fact, if you were following me on Facebook at that time, everything was hashtag I am what God sees. So I would tell my younger self to go for it. If God said it, do it. Trust God, that God is going to bring it to pass. There are things that I probably should have been doing, you know, 5 years ago that I'm just getting to now. And I mean, that's fine, right? I'm gonna play catch up, but I could have been doing a lot of these things a lot sooner had I had the confidence in who I was and who I was created to be, and had I had that laser focus on where God was taking me.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's like you said, I believe that the journey that we go through, everything that we go through, it prepares us for where we are now. So you weren't ready then. And I feel the same way. You know, they say God prepares you for where you're going to be going, and actually gets you, you know, to that place of where you need to be. So what is coming up next for Through His Eyes only, or Through His Eyes LLC?
Through His Eyes. Well, I want everybody, of course, to go ahead and subscribe to Hanging with the Elderlies. That's just an ongoing thing that is just a whole lot of fun, and I'm really looking to just grow that. But I'm really excited because I'm going to be launching a new program called Loving Me.
Oh, wonderful.
And Loving Me is about, again, loving yourself, embracing yourself, and embracing all that God has created you to be by prioritizing self-care. And so Loving Me is a 12-week transformational coaching program that will deal with mindset, health and wellness, and spiritual growth. And I'm excited about what that's going to be about. Lives that are going to be changed is for anyone that's looking to lead a healthier lifestyle, anyone who wants to grow closer to God, anyone that kind of, you know, I said I didn't have the confidence that I needed to walk into the spaces that God was directing me into. And so shifting the mindset and just blending all of that, helping people to understand the connection between mindset, spirituality, your relationship with God, health and wellness. It is all wrapped together, and I want to help people to take advantage of all of those things, and again, to lead their best lives.
Wonderful. Oh my God. I mean, there is so much going on with you. I don't even know how she has time to fit in anything. But what I want you to do is I want you to take a look at that camera over there and let everyone know how they can get in contact with Felicia Phillips.
Absolutely. So you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at FRP Speaks. That is at FRP Speaks. You can also visit my website at www.FeliciaRPhillips.com. It's important to include the R because I have a dear friend, Dr. Felicia Phillips, who has a very similar website. So I am FeliciaRPhillips.com, and my email address is info@FeliciaRPhillips.com.
Oh, wonderful. Well, everyone, you got all her information. Make sure you follow Felicia. She has an amazing life. She has an amazing purpose. And I just love everything that she's doing. Like I said, she's been in front of my group numerous times, and she will be back again. So thank you for joining us today on another episode of Power Up Your Passion. I am your host, Felicia Shankin. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Make sure to grab something to drink, your lunch, your friends, and join us. Have a great day.